Hello and welcome to Sport This Morning. I'm Cecilia Amogbe.
I am Tayo Salam. Many thanks for joining us again. Of course, we're starting off on a very, very happy note. That's because Enyimba International managed to get into the quarterfinals of the CAF Confederation Cup after scoring a late winner against Orlando Pirates in Aba last night.
Cyril Olisama had to step up to be able to do that for Enyimba to progress to the quarterfinals of the CAF Confederation Cup.
Oof, what a game that was, Cecilia.
It was
very nervy stuff. Nail-biting.
It was 90th minute.
Wow.
I felt, okay, it's going to be goalless. All right, Orlando Pirates, there you go. But somehow, Olisama just had that magical moment. I didn't want to miss it. And he got that late goal for Enyimba to progress. 95th minute, it was 5 minutes into injury time.
Literally the last kick of the game.
And then the final whistle blew. It was celebrations across, all through the night for Enyimba and most of the players.
You can stick with us for the, if you want to see how exactly Enyimba did that.
We've got the highlights for you.
Yeah, we've got it,
Outside the program, Manchester City are dreaming of a Champions League final for the first time in their histories. Advantage City, they've defeated Paris Saint-Germain 2-1 coming from behind. And with Riyad Mahrez, that celebration there, they got that second goal for them to be in a very, very comfortable position going into second leg at Etihad.
What a second half performance from the citizens. Riyad Mahrez, you can see the celebrations there. Disappointing game for PSG, especially in the second half. But this tie is far from over. But it's safe to say City definitely have the advantage. Also on the show, the Phoenix Suns are back in the playoffs for the first time in 11 years after they defeated the LA Clippers last night.
Chris Paul, yes, the man of the moment. He left OKC last season, joined the Suns, and of course, right now he is in the playoffs. And OKC, we know that they may not be able to make the playoffs. Right? We started with the NBA results from across the league. What happened last night and early hours of this morning before we talk about our star match of the day, which is the Clippers and the Suns. Starting with the Magic and the Cavs, Tayo?
Yes, let's run through all the results, starting with the Cavs and Orlando. It was Orlando prevailing 109-104. But it must be said that they almost squandered a 23-point lead in the fourth quarter. That would have been a disaster. But they managed to hold on for that 5-point victory over the Cavs. Elsewhere, the 76ers pounded the Atlanta Hawks 127-83. And by virtue of that win as well, Cecilia, they've also qualified for the playoffs.
Second team to Brooklyn Nets to make it from the East. And for the West, the Suns are the first team to make it to the playoffs. The 76ers, another consecutive, how do I put it now? Another route for them. Remember the last one they had? Was about 33 points, yes. Another one again. How many points game?
We've seen them all season.
Scoring 20 points.
Yeah,
for them.
They have been very, very solid. Coach Doc Rivers has done a fantastic job since going to Philly. And this has come as no surprise whatsoever to see how they're playing in this season. Let's move on to the Lakers. They are in a bit of trouble. They lost the game against the Washington Wizards 116-107. Bradley Beal leading the way for Washington with 27 points, while Russell Westbrook recorded a triple-double, 13th of the month to lift the Washington Wizards to that victory.
18-14. I love
what a player. For the Wizards, they just got to keep getting those wins and stay in contention for the playoffs. Right now, they're in the playing picture. If they can, maintain this kind of form with the last, with a few games remaining, they will get a chance to still play in the playoffs. While for the Lakers, they keep sliding. And Cecilia muted before we came on the show that what if the Lakers slide out of playoff contention? And I'm like, okay,
fourth loss in 5 games.
In 5 games, and I'm thinking. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's
you don't want to think about it.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about it. Right. LeBron is still out. That's a big miss. AD is still trying to find his rhythm. The other guys just need to step up and do whatever it takes to hold on to playoff spots.
Because I just can't believe that Lakers not having LeBron and AD present most of the time will just make them to miss the playoffs. They are a decent team, a decent side. Because you have the likes of...
if you don't have AD and LeBron, come on.
Okay, what else do you have?
I mean, that's like 50% of your team gone.
We've seen teams without their key players, like Brooklyn Nets, for instance. Okay, yeah, Brooklyn's an all-star team, so if you don't have to, you always have one of them.
One is always playing, and that one is enough to convert all the
chances.
Exactly.
Well, I just expect the Lakers to actually step up, because this is not looking good. Wizards have been able to turn things around. 11 victory in their past 13 games. That's a team who is struggling to make the playoffs. Well, Lakers, well, let's leave the story for another day.
For now, yeah, we'll come back to it. Let's go on to the Celtics and Charlotte. Ended 120 to 111 in favor of Boston. Jaylen Brown, 38 points. Jason Tatum, 35 points in that victory. Let's go on to the Knicks and the Bulls. The Knicks still on their playoff charge, led by Julius Randle, 34 points for New York in their 113 to 94 victory over Chicago. Miami Heat also were victorious on the night, 116 to 111 over the San Antonio Spurs. Was Jimmy Butler leading the way with 29 points, while Bam Adebayo had 21 points for Miami. And that's another team who have struggled for most of the season, but they're still trying to make their way into the playoffs. Let's go on to the Blazers and the Grizzlies. Ended 130 to 109 in favor of Portland. C.J. McCollum with 26 points and 6 assists. Norman Powell with 24 points in that victory. For the Blazers, they're still managing to hold on to the 7th place in the West. The Pelicans lost against the Denver Nuggets, 112 to 114. That was a very dramatic game because Zion Williamson had the opportunity to tie the game and send it into overtime. But Nikola Jokic said, not in my house.
Was it foul?
No, it was a clean block.
It was a clean block?
Yeah, clean block. Okay. Not in my house, all ball. And that's how they managed to hold on to that 2-point victory over the New Orleans Pelicans. The Clippers and the Suns, that was the star match of the day, ended 109 to 101. We're talking about how Phoenix managed to seal their playoff berth shortly. And last but not the least, I mean, what a scoreline this is.
Franchise record.
What is this? 154.
How do you humble a team like this? 154,
it's ridiculous.
105. That's a 49-point game.
Wow, that's a proper thrashing, thumping.
In the second half of the game, it was 46-17.
The Kings
managed just 17 points in the second part of the game.
So the Kings were well and truly toppled by the Utah Jazz. For the Kings, I mean, a bit of good news for Nigerians. Chimezie Metu are signing a multi-year deal with the Sacramento Kings yesterday.
On the night they got crushed. All right, let's take a look at the top performers. Or before that, the start game for Chris Paul. Yes, this man, what a guy.
What a player.
When they left the OKC to the Phoenix Suns. Although the Phoenix Suns, if you check towards the end of last season, in the bubble, we mentioned them, saw them, how they just continue their momentum. And having Chris Paul coming over, boosted.
Very unlucky not to qualify for the playoffs after going unbeaten in the bubble. And a lot of pundits were looking forward to seeing, they didn't come in very good at all. But pundits were actually now thinking, what's the next level for Phoenix now? And they decided to bring in a multiple all-star. Chris Paul, of course, is a veteran, one of the best point guards ever that was seen in the NBA. And like we expected, he's actually taking this team to a whole new level. And that's why they're qualifying for the playoffs for the first time in 11 years with about 10 games still to go. I mean, his leadership skills, apart from being a very good point guard, his leadership skills is just out of this world.
It's remarkable.
Yeah, both on the court and in the locker room. And it was a perfect trade.
It was.
That's how I'm going to leave it. Perfect trade for the Phoenix Suns. And we're starting to reap the benefits. 28 points on the night in this game against the Clippers. They also finished with 10 assists. So, of course, we know he's a great playmaker, so he's always going to find his teammates and put them in situations to score loads of points. And 10 or 15 from the field as well, so that's super efficient. And what more can we say? The likes of DeAndre Ayton, the likes of Devin Booker, I believe, are just super glad to be playing with this guy.
The 35-year-old. Obviously. I mean, he said when he reconnected with Monta Williams, I mean, that's the guy who was coaching for like the past 10 years. 10 years ago, I mean, he was with him. So he understood him very well. He trusted him with that leadership position, and he's done a great deal for the team. Let's get the post-match reactions from the three players we just mentioned. Okay, what we can seem to get that, talking about the reactions from Monta Williams, Devin Booker, and of course, Chris Paul talking about getting into the playoffs for the first time since 2009 and 2010 season. They actually have the longest active in the NBA. Sacramento Kings waiting longer than they to make the playoffs. Nikola Jokic, he has to talk about this guy. The block he had to give to Zion Williamson to ensure that they don't get the victory over them, tying it up 114-112. But then he put up 32 points for his team on the night. Julius Randle, you mentioned him earlier, Tayo.
Yeah.
I mean, 34-7-3 on the night for the New York Knicks.
All right, so let's move on. Last but not the least is Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics, 38-7-4 in their victory over Charlotte. All right, so that's it for the NBA. Of course, tomorrow is another day. You can join us for all the latest updates. We're not leaving we're not leaving basketball just yet. We're still talking basketball this time. Let's talk about sports auctioning. And the story coming out of Switzerland, Cecilia, is the fact that a pair of red sneakers won by NBA great legend Michael Jordan in the 1984-85 season at the start of the Chicago Bulls career is estimated to fetch between 100,000 Swiss francs and 150,000 of Swiss francs. And there you go. That's the pair right there. MJ actually wore these sneakers at the start of his NBA career with Chicago Bulls. Of course, these are very prized assets. I'm only surprised if it actually goes to fetch more money that is being predicted.
Put it in a contest in dollars, which most of us will understand better. $109,000. That's the prediction that it's going to go for.
Next month, right?
Next month. That's when it's going to go on sale. Well, let's just listen to the person who is behind this, the auction sale online.
Yes, it is the first time. It's the very first time that we're doing a sneakers auction in Switzerland. And the sale is called Game Worn. And it means that the 13 pairs of sneakers that we're offering were all worn by some of the biggest names in the NBA. And that really adds a story and a bit of character to each of the shoes, as well as particularly with pairs like the Air Jordan. They're obviously a pair of iconic design and something that really collectors focus on as one of the grails and one of the must-have pieces.
There you go there. Of course, we'll keep monitoring that situation. The auctioning of a pair of sneakers worn by Michael Jordan at the beginning of the 1984-85 season, where I started his career with the Chicago Bulls. All right, then. So that's it for basketball.
Totally living basketball.
Yeah, that's it for basketball for until tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's come back home.
Okay.
Talk about Kamaru Usman. Cecilia, we expected that when these guys release the latest pound-for-pound rankings, Kamaru Usman will be at the summit. And that's exactly what we have this morning, because the list is out now, and Kamaru Usman tops the list for the pound-for-pound rankings of course, mixed martial arts. There you go, Cecilia. I mean, after that devastating knockout of Jorge Masvidal,
put him to sleep.
Yeah, put him to sleep. He was destined for the top. and that's why he's now #1 now on sitting former #1 in John Jones. And third on the list is Israel Adesanya, which is expected as well, to Francis Ngannou, the Cameroonian heavyweight champion of the world.
Just take a look at the top 4. Top 4, you have 3 Africans and 2 Nigerians, and of course 1 from Cameroon.
We're dominating,
really
dominating the UFC.
Or the division.
That's the fact. Anyways,
heavyweight, whatever you're talking about, whatever class you want to talk about.
I know you find Nigerians there, and Cecilia, it is fantastic. Any other outcome other than this would have been,
of course,
would have been making a mockery.
Yeah, we'll start the discussion all over again. Now we'll put it on hold.
Exactly, because not only did he knock out Jorge Masvidal in spectacular fashion, he's unbeaten in 14 fights in a row. So he started his UFC career with 14 straight victories. Only Anderson Silva, one of the greatest of all times, is ahead on 16.
So active fighters now, he's the only one.
There you go. And you can't bet against him from actually surpassing that record.
Yeah.
We're here is going to take on Colby Covington next. They met before. Kamaru broke his jaw and all of that.
Once he's in this cage, you take him out again.
I don't see any other results. So congratulations to Kamaru Usman. Officially, a Nigerian is the best fighter in the world. I mean, that's just remarkable stuff. Anyways, that's it for Kamaru Usman. Hopefully, he's going to join us on the show very soon to talk about UFC 261 and how he got the job done over Jorge Masvidal. Let's get on with the show and now go to the Olympics. We're still counting down to the biggest sports competition in the world. And the story coming out of there is that organizers have now released a new stricter measures for COVID-19. Yeah. That's because Japan, is one of those countries where they're still dealing with quite a few infections.
Of course, the state of emergencies that was set up in some about 3 prefectures across some 3 cities, especially in Tokyo, where the games will be held. So the thing is, athletes will be tested on a daily basis. Every day they will be tested because they want to try and reassure the public. That's the Japanese people who are saying that they really don't want the Olympics because of the coronavirus. But they're reassuring them athletes will be tested daily. That's #1. And of course, overseas spectators, we know they will not be allowed to come in.
They're barred already.
And that's one. And of course, domestic spectators, they've not decided that yet. They're still thinking of how that will happen. Maybe before around June, that decision will be taken. So these stricter measures will definitely maybe just give the people of Japan hope that people coming in, the athletes, will not definitely spread the virus in their city.
You can be a part of the show by talking to us on channels_sports. That's where you get to send your tweets and talk about Enyimba's narrow escape, how they managed to get into the quarterfinals of the CAF Confederation Cup with a very late winner coming from Cyril Isema. Of course, we have a Champions League as well, too. What do you make of the matchup between City and PSG's advantage to the citizens? And you think this tie is over, or there's still a lot to play for in the second leg? Of course, tonight as well, the Europa League semi-finals. Arsenal will be in action. Manchester United will be in action as well. So you can tell us, tweet us at channels_sports and let us know your predictions for those games. We're not doing all of this alone. We're going to be joined by Bada Akitude Johnson Cecilia, and he's ready.
He's ready to join us this morning, and we're starting with Enyimba. We wanted them to just get the victory. No need for calculator 2-1 or whatever. They just went ahead and they got the victory. Bada, were you surprised by what Enyimba did last night?
Well, I wasn't surprised, to be honest. For some reason, I just thought that they would find a way to do the business eventually, but was I expecting it to be that late? Certainly not. I thought that the chance was gone, and like you said, we're going to resort to calculators and permutations. But, oh boy, they didn't leave it so late. And of course, if you view it from a Nigeria-South Africa perspective, it was heartbreak for the South Africans again. Yes, they qualify, but haven't held Enyimba for so long. Expectation was that they were going to.
Yes, pictures. That was the moment. Cyril, found the back of the net. Okay, that was
that was
for Salam.
for Salam, yes.
And this is it. As soon as the ball goes up, but injury time, you're starting to wonder, like, okay, this is done now. This is done now. But they kept on fighting, and that's where they deserve a lot of credit. Okay, this is the move that eventually led to the goal from Cyril Olisama. And as soon as he scored, he just took off his shirt because he knew the match was done. And look at the celebrations as well too. But the whole stadium went, exactly erupted, even though there wasn't a lot of fans in there. And Bada qualification is all that matters. And we got to give Enyimba credit for going, for not giving up. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, absolutely. They deserve full credit. Maybe, not so much for almost giving their fans a heart attack.
Yeah.
Eventually they did it. So I was saying before that I was monitoring social media posts by South Africans who were following the game.
Okay.
And oh boy, we were so heartbroken that yet again Nigeria got one over them. Even though they thought that they had clinched top spot, haven't held Enyimba, but then they were expecting their team to keep the ball, but they kept giving it away. Enyimba kept coming back and creating chances until they found that all-important winner. You don't want to know how disappointed South Africans are. They hate to lose to Nigeria, and it happened again yesterday. I'm just so glad that this Enyimba team, so full of promise, so full of potential, so full of some super exciting talent, can progress in this competition and begin to show the quality that they've got. Enyimba has got a rich history. Orlando Pirates as well. These are two big sides in this on the African continent, not just in this competition, but even in the CAF Champions League. So they've got so much history between them, and I think just seeing all of the conversation going on social about an African football game on a night the UEFA Champions League was on was in itself so heart-lifting that there might be hope after all for African football, especially club football.
Yeah, the game was even played late in the night, 10 p.m. Nigerian time. So people had to wait. After Champions League, we had to tune into the CAF Champions League to watch the football. And the good thing is when the coach actually, had the mind to bring it, Tosin Omoyele was the one who gave that spectacular pass for Olisama to get the goal. Now for Enyimba, now we know we have all the 8 teams completed now in the quarterfinals. Let's just take a look at the list. What is looking like right now, because all the teams that have qualified for the quarterfinals are a big side that Enyimba will need to do better if they can progress to the semi-finals. But first of all, the draw will definitely be tomorrow.
On Friday.
On Friday, that's when the draw will be done. But the teams that have qualified, you have, of course, Enyimba and Orlando Pirates qualifying from Group A. Okay. And from Group B, you have JS Kabio and Cotton Sport. Cotton Sport happens to be the only mate with Enyimba because they had the same numbers of games that they won. They lost about 3 games and they just had 9 points and 3 wins, just like you have in Enyimba. For ASC Diafra, 3 wins, 2 draws and 2 losses. They 12 points. That's how they got that top of the table in that group. CS Fasien, 2 wins, 4 draws, 11 points. That's what they got. And the last group, Raja Casablanca, 6 wins, no goal conceded. They scored 13. 18 points. For Pyramids, another team from Egypt, 4 wins, 2 losses, and they ended up with 12 points. So the smaller teams happens to be Cotton Sport, Enyimba, and Orlando Pirates in terms of points on how they qualified. Now, Bada, which of these teams you think Enyimba will face that will get them into the semi-finals?
To be honest, I feel like when we look at on paper, you're always wishing for the more favorable fixtures, but at this stage, like we always like to say, if you must win a competition of this size, you have to be prepared to beat the best side. So for me, I wouldn't say, well, I mean, this is what I hope for, because at the end of the day, it is what you do on the day, on the night, as the case may be, that actually matters. But as football fans, we're always hoping that our teams draw the easier opposition, but at this level, I just feel like whoever Enyimba draws, they should believe that they can beat them, and they've got the pedigree, they've got the quality, to just go ahead and proceed in this competition. And I was worried going into that game yesterday, after all the shenanigans around travel, not being able to secure visas and whatnot, that they might be distracted and they may have an excuse for not doing well. But to have the presence of mind and the desire to keep pushing till the very end to get the desired result tells me that these guys really want this competition, and it wouldn't really matter who they draw next. I actually believe Enyimba have what it takes to go all the way.
Okay. All right, we'll see. Tomorrow is the draw, and we'll find out Enyimba's opponents in the CAF Confederation Cup quarterfinals. Let's move on with the show now. Let's go to Europe and talk about the UEFA Champions League. One match played yesterday, second semi-final, first leg. Confirmation of the results in case you missed it. City coming back from a goal down to defeat PSG in Paris, and to take one leg into the final of the competition. Bada, what a game we saw yesterday. First half, I thought both sides gave as good as they got. But in the second half, whatever happened to PSG? They didn't come out to play. It feels like they didn't come out of the locker room at all.
They did in first half.
Well, I think it's what you call a classic game of two halves. The first half certainly belonged to PSG. Yep. They were the dominant team. Neymar was springing up everywhere on the pitch. He was buzzing. He was looking like he was going to create a chance or two and score. There was no surprise at all when Marquinhos rose highest to Nodum and Angel Di Maria corner kick for 1-0. City just couldn't deal with the pace and the trickery of Neymar and Di Maria. Mbappe wasn't so much of a factor in the first half, but City couldn't get their game going. They played uncharacteristically a bit deeper than they normally would. Typically, Pep Guardiola sets his team up to push upfield a little bit, almost central defenders almost on the halfway on the center circle line, pushing and pressing the opposition back and dominating the game. But I think they had so much respect for the pace of those two I mentioned that they were pushed back and really couldn't get into their game. And PSG should maybe have scored more in the first half, because there were occasions when it took a last-ditch tackle, it took an Ederson save to keep City, going into that break, only one goal behind. But in the second half, City came back a changed team. The tactic was forget about this threat, on the breakaway, and play your normal game. Push the team back, keep your passing sticking, get the movement right, and you can actually get at this PSG team. And that was exactly what happened. All of the players that were quiet in the first half, Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan, Phil Foden. And the reason why Pep Guardiola plays all of these number 10s together is so that they can get control of the game, which they didn't do in the first half. So you saw all of those number 10s actually getting on the ball, actually passing it, actually moving, and creating all kinds of problems for PSG. And City were in the ascendancy. They were creating chances. And eventually, even though it took a stroke of luck, but it seemed like PSG were going to buckle at some point. KDB, put a ball into the box that missed everyone, including the goalkeeper, but didn't miss the net for 1-1. Keylor Navas reacted late to the flight of the ball because he thought maybe someone would get a glancing header on it. Yeah, it went in for 1-1. And City only got stronger from there. Mahrez became more and more a factor. He was buzzing. He was taking on men. He was drawing men to himself. He was passing it. And it just seemed like PSG were in all kinds of trouble. I saw a player rating of the PSG team, and I think L'Equipe, the French magazine, gave Mbappe 3/10 because he was so ineffectual. Yeah. As an attacking force, PSG just didn't get going in the second half. And it was only a matter of time before City got a second. And it was a free kick on the edge of the box after PSG carelessly gave one away. Mahrez picked his spot, even though you would argue that if the wall had done their job, there was no way that ball should have gone through. But it went through, and City took a lead. And then you could see the frustration getting to the PSG players because you see PSG, even in the big game against Bayern in the previous round, and before then, They played another big team. I can't remember now, which they negotiated quite easily. They were the dominant team over those games. They're not so used to chasing the ball and being dominated in the way that City dominated them. And Gay, the Senegalese, showed his frustration. Reckless tackle, almost took out Gundogan's leg, and was deservedly sent off. And from that point, there was only one winner. I'm sure if Pep Guardiola would even have been disappointed not to have gotten a third and maybe put the game to bed in the first leg. But City definitely, as you said, Tayo, have one foot in that final. They have a home leg to come. They're going to be facing a PSG team that now needs to go out and chase the game because they have to score, and that would leave more gaps expectedly for City to exploit. Pep Guardiola keeps getting asked these questions around why he didn't play a centre forward, a striker. He had Jesus available, he didn't play him. He had Aguero available, he didn't play him. But for you to do that, dominate PSG away and win, you really can't question him. His methods are working. Yeah, he's won the League Cup playing that way. He's going to win the Premier League playing that way. He's probably going to win the Champions League playing that way.
Mauricio Pochettino not giving up on qualifying for the final of the UEFA Champions League. They have to go to the Etihad and get a very good win as well. So they already stopped Barcelona, they stopped Bayern. Now they're trying to stop Man City. Bada, let's get on with the show now. I wanted to ask you if they can get the job done, or we'll still got one more opportunity to do a preview of the game. Let's go to Europe, to the Europa League now. Two big games tonight. Two English sides, Manchester United and Arsenal will be in action. And yeah, let's start with United first of all. Confirmation of the fixtures: United against Roma at Old Trafford, Villarreal against Arsenal. Let's start with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Manchester United. Boss Top is a semi-final in the last in the last two seasons. Trying to go a step further now. How do you see this game against Roma panning out?
I think it's the fixture of the night, without any disrespect to Arsenal and Roma. I think that two teams should be playing in the Champions League without a doubt. AS Roma, outside of Juve, Inter, for me, at the strongest, maybe Atalanta, at the strongest Italian side. You look at the side, they're filled with champions. Edin Dzeko, Pedro, they've got top quality, across the park, from goalkeeper to the last man. And I think that they will give United a big, big game tonight. And like you quite rightly said, United have lost 5 straight semi-finals since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer became the manager. And so they have to do something that they haven't done in recent years. Since they won this competition, actually, in 2017, they haven't won any trophies. So if they must banish that run of trophylessness, they have to get past Roma and then beat whichever of Arsenal or Villarreal they meet in the final. So, I mean, those two games are at the same time. I'm an Arsenal fan, but which one will I be watching? I'll be watching more of the Manchester United-Roma game because I believe that it will be a bigger spectacle between them. A clash of styles as well. United will most probably have most of the ball. Roma, typical Italian team, will probably, playing away from home, try to keep a solid defensive shape. But on the breakaway, they have solid players who can cause all manner of danger for United. So United will have to be defensively solid over 90 minutes because this Roma team may not offer much, but they will seize their moments. If they have two chances all game, they probably take both.
So we're going to talk about Arsenal and Villarreal now. And of course, the subplot, how can we forget? Unai Emery. I'm not sure how much stake he gave Emery when he was coach of Arsenal, but it's safe to say he's back in his elements now, looking to lead Villarreal into the final of the Europa League.
Well, I mean, even if it wasn't entirely convincing as Arsenal's manager, he still proved his mettle in this competition, led Arsenal all the way to the final. That was, I think, his 4th participation, and he won 3 and got to a final again. So this guy knows how to play this competition. This guy is the most qualified, the most competent manager in the world when it comes to the Europa League. You can't argue against that. So, and he has inside knowledge of this Arsenal team. He's responsible for the emergence of the Sakas, the Martinellis, the Emil Smith-Rowe, all of these youngsters that are doing well for Arsenal now. He brought them into the first team. So he knows Arsenal in and out. But does his current team, Villarreal, have the quality to get past a fully fit Arsenal team? And when I say fully fit, I allude to the availability of players like Kieran Tierney, David Luiz, who have been missing for some weeks now. So Arsenal has a full, squad to choose from now. Yeah. And judging by how horrible their league season has been, Arsenal will probably not finish higher than 8th. The only chance that Arsenal has to redeem themselves this season is actually to win this competition, get back into the Champions League through the back door, and have some piece of silverware to show, pretty much in the way that the FA Cup win helped to sort of cushion the impact of a poor season last year. So I've watched Villarreal, and I have full respect for Sam Chukwueze's team. And of course, we saw him last weekend score a fantastic goal against Barcelona in the league. They've got a lot of quality across the park. They play easy on the eyes. They knock the ball around. They create chances. They use the pace of Chukwueze. They've got quality players, but I just have a feeling that on a night like this, with the incentive being what it is, I fancy Arsenal to go away and not just get a result, to mean that they have one foot in the finals. I think that Arsenal might win this game very, very comprehensively. Their last semi-final trip in this competition to Valencia, actually, was a 5-2 win, if I remember very clearly. Yeah, Aubameyang helping himself to a hat-trick, and Lacazette scoring a brace as well in that one. So I think that Arsenal, being the more experienced team, being the more motivated in terms of knowing how much their season hangs on success in this particular competition this season, I just fancy Arsenal to get not just a win, but an emphatic win in this one. Like I said, Aubameyang is back from illness. All the big players are back and ready for this one, and they haven't kicked the ball since last week Friday, so they are the more rested side. Villarreal just came back from a difficult game against Barcelona. So I think that Arsenal are favourites going into this one.
Wow. That's a big shout out from Barakitude Johnson. Thank you very much for your time, man. We'll see about the results definitely later on tonight. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Tyre. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you guys.
All right, cheers. Barakitude Johnson predicting a big win for Arsenal tonight against Villarreal. Before we look at the papers, Cecilia, let's take a couple of tweets, starting with Kende. Kende, you're talking about the Champions League. You're saying they scored 4 goals. Okay, that is PSG. They scored 4 goals in the Camp Nou. They scored 3 at the Allianz Arena, so they can score 5 in England. That's at the Etihad. That's going to be a very tall order for PSG, definitely. Ejike got a message as well, saying congratulations to Enyimba for reaching the CAF Confederation Cup quarterfinals. Also, still from Ejike, you're saying that Europe, PSG can keep fighting to the end. Okay, that's for Enyimba to keep fighting till the end of the competition, whoever they get in the quarterfinals.
Noble Flyerman says, I switched off my TV at 94th minute, got to bed out of patriotism, check live score, and I saw 1-0. I sprinted back to switch on the TV again to see the goal replay. Enyimba should be clinical in front of goal and be ruthless away as well. Congratulations to Man City. And Agbonga says PSG has a chance. Arsenal versus Man United at Europa League final. Okay. Joseph Aminagawan says, I'm excited by Enyimba qualification. It speaks to the resilience of the side and determination to remain a top African side. Wish them all the best. And Boston also says Enyimba pedigree shines through, even though they had to qualify by a last grabs effort. Arsenal needs to win or draw tonight to stand a chance of rescuing their faltering season. And the final one, I'll take for a look at the papers quickly. Law Alpha says Enyimba qualified by the Whiskers, but they have to learn to be clinical in front of goal post of their opponent. Man City under Guardiola that clipped the wings of Mbappe, Neymar, and Di Maria can frustrate any team. Okay, papers are Sporting Life here. In Sporting Life, you have the Sports City renovation, the big headline here. National Stadium to get 200 shopping malls, and Buhari gives anticipatory approval. Plans afoot to ensure project starts work. Okay.
Let's go to Complete Sports quickly. Chukwueze battles Messi for 12 for La Liga Player of the Month award. Of course, Chukwueze has been in great form in the Spanish La Liga this month. There's also stories about Kelechi Iheanacho, don't go back to City. Whoever said he was going back to the Etihad. What else? Let's go to
Sporting Sun is the last one. Chukwueze, still here. He's challenging Messi and Courtois for Player of the Month in La Liga. And Chukwueze said, bring on Gunners. So that's why some of us will be watching that game
exactly.
tonight.
Me and you will be watching that.
Yeah, we'll be watching that because I know Bada says he won't be watching that. Keep an eye on Man United and AS Roma. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a great day.
I am Taya Salam. Join us again tomorrow.